Have you ever had one of those days where you just feel like you're rushing around non-stop? Well, that was these 3 days for me. Come with me to my sister's graduation. My sister went to uni in Liverpool, and these train prices are out of control, so we're driving down. So we stayed in this place called the Shankly, which I'd never heard of before, but it was absolutely lovely. I don't know why we felt the need to be so extra, but just look at this room. It's literally ridiculous for 3 people. The amount of space we had in this room was insane. Like, it literally sleeps 8 people. My sister actually has an apartment in Liverpool, so I was more than prepared to just camp on her floor, like trauma bonding. But instead we went for this. And the view from this room was actually so pretty, and it made me so excited to be moving to London and living in a city next year. Why do I keep saying next year as if it's not next month? This is the day before the graduation, and we're all just hoping and praying that the weather is not going to be like this tomorrow. So we're on our way to go out for dinner, and we heard this really talented guy playing a drum in the street. Guys, why didn't I realise he wasn't playing the drums and it was just the speaker? Anyway, so we were going to this Italian place for dinner and we were almost so late. On a big side note, I need whoever designed this to come and do a refresh to my room because it is in dire need of a makeover. Yeah, we were almost late here, and then obviously I forgot to film the rest of the food because I was starving at that point. And then we went to this really cute little jazz bar, and I was going to tell you where it was, but it's actually so nice that I'm gonna gatekeep it. I know I said I won't gatekeep anything on this channel, but this is the exception. 90% of their drinks are just things that you don't see on a normal menu, and they were so good. So the actual day of the graduation is starting, and this day was so chaotic. So here's the beginning of the transition that we forgot to finish to get ready for the graduation day, but chaos struck and we did not end up finishing it. And look, yes, we are in a new room. Our room's AC broke, which made us such a hot mess, and then while we're trying to get ready for the graduation, our water went, so we were in absolute stress mode. Luckily, they were pretty good about it and they moved us to a new room, but we were trying to move right as we were supposed to be leaving. So right now we are so late. Someone tell me why the weather was so bad again. So here's my mum fighting back tears. So I don't know if you've ever been to a graduation, but the seating is not assigned. So my mum was rushing us into the cathedral to get our seats. Buildings like this really freak me out, and somebody needs to explain this to me. So this was obviously built hundreds of years ago, but look how high the ceiling is. How did they do that without cranes? And how is it all symmetrical when it's not built with machinery? Like, I don't understand. Obviously I'm not an architect, but someone please explain this to me in basic terms because I have no idea how they did it. My sister begged us not to scream before this, but I was like, absolutely not. It's your graduation. I feel like Priya really isn't a hard name to pronounce, but somehow she still managed to get it wrong. But you know what? It's so weird seeing your sibling graduate. Because, like, how has this girl got a whole degree but she still doesn't know her left and right? But you know what? I'm so proud of her, and it was time for us to celebrate. But disaster struck again because the taxi that came could not fit us all in, so me and my mum had to stay while my dad and my sister went. So we found this cute little bar, ordered a drink, but then my dad texted to say he was here to pick us up. So then we had to rush to finish our drink so we could get back to the hotel and get ready before we went out for dinner. Oh my god, getting out of uncomfortable shoes to put trainers on is literally the best feeling in the world. So Priya had chosen this Teppanyaki place for us to go to dinner, and it was so nice inside. I mean, maybe I have low standards because I live in Coventry and the restaurants there, let's just say they don't try this hard. I don't know what happened on the way here because when we left we had so much time, but for some reason we still ended up here 15 minutes late. So we were all starving when we got here and everyone wanted to order starters but me because I know what always happens. We always order starters and then fill ourselves up. Shout out to the chef Torm because this was our first time with a live Teppanyaki station and it made it such a good experience. And I know I did complain about us ordering starters, but they were good. Open your big mouth. Yes, that is Torm telling my dad to open his big mouth. I'm glad someone finally said it to him. He said what needed to be said.
So cool, hey. Let's go, lady. Open your mouth.
If I had tried doing that, I would literally have no fingers and no eyebrows left. I don't know how he did it, but he is a professional. You know, this whole idea of a live station is all great and cute until you actually are sat there watching them make your food, because then you get so hungry. Like, it's not just watching them, it's also being able to smell the food. I was dying. But oh my god, the food looked so good and it also tasted straight fire. The only problem is I'm always right, and 2 bites in we were already full because of the starters. So we ended up taking the rest away in takeaway boxes. At this point I was ready for bed, but Priya wanted to go out, so we got some water and then we headed out. But on the way my mum spotted something really weird. The shoes there. Who has just abandoned their shoes on the streets in Liverpool? You could have worn them to the Barbie movie. Tell me you're Gen Z without telling me you're Gen Z. Didn't I tell you this girl doesn't know her left and right? She just looked left when it said look to the right. She's been driving almost 3 years. If you're on the roads in Coventry, watch out. We had a good time, but it was time to go home because I have a social battery and also nothing good happens after 2 a.m. How I Met Your Mother, I live my life by it. So we went home and I genuinely thought that would be the end of the stress for the whole weekend. Boy, was I wrong. On a serious note, I'm a tall person and look how low the ceiling was in this garage. Like, are you trying to kill me? Anyway, so our last task before leaving Liverpool was supposed to be to move my sister out of her accommodation because she's been here 3 years and all of her stuff has been accumulating. irritating. But tell me why she literally did not have anything ready, and I did not have a coat. So I was getting wet in the rain, and it took us hours. We're like 2 hours into this, and I've been abandoned on the side of the road with nothing but my sister's stuff and my mum's hair scrunchie. So it turns out my sister had way more stuff than we thought, so my mum and sister had to get the train back. But we stopped for a KFC because I was starving and we had not eaten all day. And the final nail in the coffin of this weekend was being stuck in traffic for hours. At this point, I was so done and just wanted to be home. But yeah, that was the chaotic graduation weekend, and look at me, I've still got the scrunchie.